Hi traders, how you doing? Welcome to the Phase Candle version 1.03 update. Pretty big update, and I've been working on this last 2 weeks and added quite a few things in and just finished polishing it off today as much as I could. So it's a smooth experience, but I'll walk you through what I've done. So basically you'll have a new settings button down here. This settings button will bring up a panel and like so. There will be some different options here for MT4 users. I'm on MT5. The biggest update that I've added that took me a lot of time is, which I'll show you first, is the history downloader. The reason we need this history downloader, and I spent so much time on it, is because the phase candles bringing in data from multiple time frames, and we need to make sure the data's there ready for when the phase candles request the data, otherwise we won't get the display that we want. So MT4, like I said, has a button here in the phase candle settings. MT4 only really has a crude way of doing it. You just press the button, it'll open all the charts and just like keep scrolling back to force the program to download broker history. It just automates that process for you. It's a bit crude, but MT5 offers a much more streamlined approach. So for MT5, if we go into our indicator options, if you want to turn this off, okay, we have the enable history downloader on true there. Just turn that off if what I'm about to show you bothers you. Let me just delete my history and I'll come back and show you. So I deleted all my history. Some's probably already been preloaded, but let's just flick to one of the charts. That's not going to do it. There we go. You can see up the top there, each time you load a chart, it's making sure the history's there within it to like a certain period. Here we go. It's looking for the weekly history. You can see sometimes it takes a bit of time to make sure the charts are synchronized. So it's always important to make sure that data's there, which can cause a lot of problem with indicators and stuff. You might be getting data from one time frame and relying on that, and your indicator's getting thrown off because it's not there. You're getting zero values or something like that. So the MT5 one is automated. The MT4 one is, you just press a button. So maybe the first time you load it, you'll go in here, do the history synchronization, make sure all the history comes in, and then you're good to go. But the MT5 one is much better and faster, more efficient. Now the other thing that it does, it has a background loader. So the background loader is designed so that when you load the phase candles onto a chart, it will load the data for the current symbol on the time frames that you need and then start background loading for the other charts. So maybe if I click over to a new chart, and now you can see that the US dollar Singapore dollar has loaded, but now it's actually going through all the other charts in the background. That's just an indicator there to let you know how it's going. But we can use this chart, we can do whatever we want on this chart, and that just happens in the background. And that just preloads all the data in your history, in your market watch here. It preloads all the history of the symbols you've got listed in here. So if you have a lot of symbols listed in here, it's going to go through each one, download all that data from all different time frames, only the ones that the phase candle uses, daily, weekly, and the hourly, whatever time frame you're on. So it's going to go through them all, preload that. So when you flick through your charts like this, the data will be there. Okay. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's not. It just depends how fast MT5 synchronizes the data. Okay, so that's the history loader that's basically being put in. It's pretty much set and forget for MT5. MT4, you just press the button. But like I said, if you need to turn that off, it's in the indicator options. Now let's get on to the cool stuff. So this settings panel is pretty cool. I put a lot of effort into this. Doesn't look like much, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes and gives you a lot of flexibility on how you want the phase candles to be showed. So I've got a couple of boxes ticked here. So let's untick everything. We untick everything, we get a plain chart. All right, I'll just go to another chart since there's a trade in the way there. So we untick everything. We're going to get nothing on here. We're going to get neutral candles. I might zoom in a bit so you can actually see their candles. Okay. When we click something, it automatically saves and redraws the chart based on the settings that you have. So it's all like on the fly. There's no need to click save and have a look. So you can basically change any settings in here, and then you'll see them happen on the chart straight away, which can be very helpful. So the first option here is the phase candle momentum algorithm. It's basically the trend filter, the original sort of trend algorithm that I have built in that just detects good momentum, basically what you're used to if you're using the phase candles. Okay, so if the market starts moving in a certain direction and sort of maintains that momentum, this is what this algorithm is for. Just your baseline trend filter. So we've got that moving average option as well. This used to be in the input options, like before you load the chart, but I put it in here so you can turn it on and off. So you can just tick on and off there. And here comes the interesting part. So we have some filters here, which I've been using, and they've been pretty good. This weekly filter especially. So if we click this weekly filter, you could see a lot of candles get shut off there and filtered out into neutral. And we really start to filter out some interesting price action in the market now. So basically what the weekly and daily filter will do was take the whatever candle we're looking at here, it will calculate its previous week's high and low, or the previous daily high and low, okay, and it won't let the candle be phased bullish or bearish unless, for a bullish case obviously, we have to be above the previous week's high, and for a bearish phase to filter through, it has to be below the previous week's low. And that's obviously true for the daily filter. Now it doesn't make sense to be able to turn on a daily filter and a weekly filter at the same time, so it won't let you, just to keep things simple. Okay, because if you have a weekly filter on and a daily filter on, you kind of like really starting to overlap. It doesn't make sense. So you can turn the daily filter on or the weekly filter on. I haven't really experimented with the daily filter yet, but the weekly filter I used a lot last week, and it was really making those markets that were moving like pop out, and the ones that I was trading, and I was picking up some good trades there, some little intraday stuff. Now we have an option here for those who want to get into this a little deeper, the weeks option. So how many weeks do we consider? Set to 1, and that's what I use. But if we want to increment that, if we say 3, and like as you can see, I'm changing the value, and it's being reflected on the chart for straight away. So I'm very proud of that. But 3 weeks is going to mean, okay, we're going to take the previous 3 weeks high and low range. Same with day filter, the daily filter. So 1 day, 2 day, 3 days. So it's going to look back at the previous 3 days, look at the highest and lowest point between those 3 days, and set that as the criteria. All right, so we'll switch back over to the 1 hour chart, because that's where the phase candle is basically designed for. Okay, now this is what you can do extra. You can actually turn the phase candle momentum algorithm off. All right, so when we turn that off, this weekly filter, for those who don't want any trend sort of detection, they just want the raw weekly filter displayed as phase candles, bullish and bearish neutral candles, we can do that. So if we have this off and the weekly filter on by itself, it just means it's going to paint any candle in its bullish phase if it's above the previous week high, or obviously if we jack up the number and or whatever setting you use there, it's just going to be that raw value. So, you know, if we zoom out a bit, all these bullish painted candles are above the previous week high, and all the bearish ones are below the previous week low. And we can turn that up. You can see it's all changing there. You can really jack it up if you want. And same with the daily. So if we turn everything off, like I told you, it's going to be completely neutral, meaning if you've got nothing, you know, no criteria set. We go to the daily, and you can see the daily is a bit more sensitive, obviously, and we start increasing the days, and it will start getting more strict. All right. Then we have the Monday, Tuesday range filter, which some of you guys use, and you know, I'm interested in this as well. So we put the Monday, Tuesday range filter on, and it will show us basically what candles are above the Monday, Tuesday range and below the Monday, Tuesday range for the relative to the candle that it's been calculated on. So if we're on the current candle, obviously that means the current Monday, Tuesday range. Now we can stack these filters as well, so we can apply a weekly filter and a Monday, Tuesday range filter, so we could really start to get heavy with the filtering as well. You can even throw on the trend algorithm in there as well and really start to get customized here. So we'll turn those off. And the last one that I just added today is the weekly open price filter. So we just turn that on here. You can see obviously there's only two conditions. The market's going to, and most of these algorithms work off the closing price. Okay, so wherever the closing price of the candle landed. Obviously here, all these candles on the hourly chart closed above the previous week high. You can see just about there, that's probably where the weekly, previous weekly candle opened. And as soon as we go under there, it's all bearish. You can see we're straddling the weekly open price there. We're going bullish, bearish kind of thing. So yeah, this has been a bit of a discussion in the war room recently, and it's a nice data reference point to kind of work with. So weekly open price filter, and you just look back and you can experiment with that. But we can also add, obviously the weekly filter overlaps illogically with the weekly open price filter. So if you turn that on, obviously it'll toggle that off. All right, so you can't have them both on, but that makes sense, right? So we have a weekly open price filter. We could throw on the phase candle momentum algorithm on, and you can see that we start to get some good filtering through here with the candles. Okay, so yeah, this is just a little guide on how to use it. I'm not discussing strategies or anything, but obviously the basic strategy with the phase candles, look for the signs of strength, like around here with the, we've got some rejection coming off higher lows here. Just look for those kind of signs of strength when you've got your phase candles in a bullish mode, and obviously in bearish situations you would look for signs of weakness of lower highs there. But yeah, I've been using, like I said, this configuration like that, just a simple weekly filter, and looking for the markets that are basically, it's just going to show you which markets have actually broken out of the previous weekly range, which is a good indication of something's happening with that market. It's going. And it was actually, I even caught some on Friday. I think I have a Dow trade going. I had some stuff going on Bitcoin, but it ended up going all sideways on me there. You can see, like, if we open the panel again, it remembers your settings, so you don't have to save or anything. Like I said, it'll just remember them. I think that, yeah, we have the Dow here. I had a trade going. You can see it closed really strong into the week, and what's the other trade? I think it was one of the yen pairs. Aussie yen, here we go. So this is the filter settings I was using. We had a couple of signs of strength pick up off higher lows here, and I picked up this one here, and it sort of started to take off. And yeah, with this filter configuration enabled, with the weekly filter there, we're going to get neutral candles start to print immediately after when the market's open on Monday here. That's going to be the previous week high. The previous week low down there is going to be somewhere wherever the previous week low was. So in this entire range, we're going to paint neutral candles until we get above here. Then if the phase candle based trend algorithm allows it, the market showing good momentum, it will get green phase candles up here again, and we can start looking for more buy opportunities. So we'll see how we go with this. That's a nice little demonstration on how we can use the new settings panel. Hope you have a lot of fun with it. Hope it's very useful for you. Give me your feedback. Let me know if there's any issues with it. and I'll get those fixed up for you. But it should be smooth sailing, and I'm looking forward to next week's trading.